Rose McGowan, it's always so great to have you with us on FilmStruck.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. FilmStruck is something I'm a huge fan of.
And I can't wait to talk to you about Dawn, your short film. What is the basic plot or premise before we delve into what's underneath it all?
It's a tense, taut thriller of the mind, really. It's about a young girl in 1961,
Yes, ma'am.
and she's so controlled by society. You know, her mother is basically acting the mouthpiece for society at the time.
Dawn.
She makes some decisions that maybe she wouldn't have made had she not been so conditioned.
He was on the football team. He's very polite.
I saw how you looked at him.
And that leads to certain things, good or bad, and I think it's a pretty cool little jewel. I think people really like it on FilmStruck.
You can't go home.
Dawn is terrifying to me in its familiarity of the type of messages that women get told. Was that something that you wanted to explore?
I was definitely exploring what society shows women, what they're supposed to be like, what they're supposed to think like, what they're supposed to wear, but it's more about the detail of that. We all know the big picture stuff, right? But it's more the subtle things.
And it's timeless as well, but set specifically in the early 60s, which seems to me like an interesting time for women in America. It was like after housewife, on the way to feminism, confusing time, would you say?
Yeah, I think that's an incredibly confusing time period, and I've always been curious and felt really badly for women in the 60s. I mean, you think they're raised by these 50s mothers.
No one likes a pushy girl. And it's nice when a girl is curious and asks questions, but not too many questions.
The movie's in color, beautiful color, but it's like a black and white era. It's so, this is what this is. You cannot sugarcoat it.
And each frame looked like a photograph. I feel like I could pause it, put it up on the wall, and it would look like a perfectly framed picture.
Thank you for saying those wonderful things. That was exactly my intention. I wanted each frame to be able to be paused, and it could tell you the entire story. I did the set design myself because I'm kind of a design freak. I feel like you can say so much, and I think a lot of times in films we miss the mark by not using set design as a way to telegraph things about the political climate. You can do that through a chair, you can encapsulate an era with a couch. In Dawn, you know, the kid's a gas station attendant, so he's feeling uncomfortable on this stiff, beautiful sofa. And you can say a lot about class distinction there.
You're lonely, huh? It's a lonely place.
What place?
Here.
Is production design a way to tell more story?
I think if you look at every aspect of film as a way to tell the story, you know, the world that you create, I think for me as a filmmaker, I try to take people out of the world as little as possible. Because the second they think about their own life, they're no longer in the world I created, and I have failed.
Yeah, the second you notice something like the makeup.
Right,
or...
and if you're doing a period piece, you better be on point.
What you reading? Stealing pictures? Me too.
I love pictures.
As a filmmaker, is it harder to start or keep going?
I think it's just hard, period, and obviously there's some serious issues. I think women and men have a duty. We have a duty to be smarter and be better because we're putting things into people's minds.
Yeah.
Like, we need to take that seriously.
Well, a lot of people have an idea of what a director is like, but for you, what are the personal attributes that makes a good director?
Well, it's not the white puffy tennis shoes and the mom jeans, I'll tell you that. What makes a director to me?
Yeah.
Someone with vision and thought, somebody who understands that they have a responsibility and an onus on them to, if I'm putting stuff in your mind, I need to think about what I'm doing. It's like, see where your stereotypes, if you're replaying stereotypes and re-airing stereotypes, I mean, I think that's what leads to death of cinema. So what makes a director to me is somebody with vision, vision about everything, and just getting it done, you know, just make it. Don't wait for anybody.
I'm excited that Dawn is getting out there to people. It's going to be in FilmStruck. It was at Sundance. What did it mean to have your film play at Sundance?
To have Dawn play at Sundance was incredibly gratifying and definitely an honor. It was a really great and big difference between being there as a director and being there as an actor. And I really learned that I was just a lot more comfortable in this role. This is the role, you know, this is where I was meant to be.
I can't wait to see more from you. Hashtag Rose Army.
Hashtag Rose Army.
Thank you so much for joining us on FilmStruck. It's lovely to chat to you.